Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something that is absolutely crucial right now. We're taking a fascinating and honestly urgent look at the rapidly shifting world of cybersecurity. Specifically, we're going to break down the massive need to secure the intersection between autonomous AI and the enterprise browser. This space is moving incredibly fast, and as we integrate more and more of these autonomous AI agents into our daily workflows, a massive blind spot has just opened right up for organizations everywhere. So, here's our game plan. We'll cover the fourth security epoch, uncover this new blind spot, deconstruct the 7-layer AI estate, look at securing the workspace, explore prompt interception, and then cap the whole thing off with visibility and governance. All right, kicking things off with Section 1, the fourth security epoch, moving from the network to the autonomous runtime. If you look back at the history of digital defense, it's kind of like a giant puzzle we've been putting together over 3 distinct eras. We started at Epoch 1, just trying to protect the network perimeter. Then, work shifted, and we entered Epoch 2, focusing heavy on the endpoint host. When servers virtualized, boom, Epoch 3, securing cloud infrastructure. And now, we've officially landed in Epoch 4, the era of AI and agents. Now, you might be thinking back to when AI first hit the mainstream, right? It was basically just a neat conversational chatbot. Back then, just protecting the prompt, watching what text someone typed in was largely sufficient. But actually, scratch that. That era is completely over. The shift to AI is literally the fastest computing shift we have ever seen, totally blowing past the transition to mobile or the cloud. So naturally, our security architecture has had to evolve. We went from network firewalls to endpoint detection and response, EDR, to cloud-native application protection platforms, or CNAPP. But because AI innovation moves at warp speed, this new autonomous runtime demands a totally different, action-oriented approach. We're calling it AIDR, AI Detection and Response. Which brings us right into Section 2, uncovering the blind spot, where the threat is live and autonomous. To really put this threat into perspective, get a load of this number, 16,000. We are looking at a projected 16,000 confirmed AI-related security incidents in the year 2025 alone. That is a massive 49% jump year over year. So this is for sure not some far-off future problem. This is a current reality. And to make matters trickier, we have the human element. Right now, a whopping 45% of employees are using what we call shadow AI. That means they're plugging highly sensitive company data into unauthorized, unsanctioned AI tools, completely under the radar, with IT having zero clue it's even happening. The scary reality here is that this threat is live, and it's highly behavioral. AI agents, they just don't respect your traditional security perimeters. They cross boundary lines across endpoint, cloud, and SaaS environments in literal milliseconds. They're executing code, assuming user identities, and manipulating data entirely on their own, without any human confirmation whatsoever. So, detection without response. Well, that's really just observation, isn't it? Legacy tools like AI security posture management or data loss prevention, they just operate on the perimeter. They audit after the fact or they scan outputs. But agentic threats demand an action-oriented control plane. You absolutely need a solution like ADR that operates at runtime, taking real-time action so you are left with absolutely zero blind spots. Moving right along to Section 3, the 7-layer AI estate and deconstructing the architecture. Because, let's face it, you can't protect what you don't understand, right? The AI estate is actually built on 7 distinct interconnected layers. It starts way at the top with user interactions, moves through infrastructure and identities, down into the agents and prompts, and then bottoms out at the models and their foundational training data. Think of this 7-layer stack exactly like building a house. If you've got a perfectly secure roof but a massive crack in your foundation, the house still falls down. If even one single layer here is exposed, your entire enterprise AI estate is completely vulnerable. And that is exactly why rock-solid protection has to be delivered from a unified, single control plane that wraps around all 7 layers at once. Let's hit Section 4, securing the unified workspace. This is really the browser battlefield. This is where traditional security just totally misses the mark. Legacy proxies, things like secure web gateways, they sit entirely on the outside of the browser session. That makes them completely blind to things like session hijacking, dynamic rendering, and malicious extensions. But a modern solution, something like Seraphic, It steps right inside the browser to secure the runtime engine from within.
Because the browser really is the modern enterprise workspace, right? And attackers are exploiting exactly what happens inside that active session. So by securing the internal JavaScript and API runtime engine directly within the session, you're neutralizing threats right at the point of execution. Honestly, it's fundamentally the only way to stop them dead in their tracks.
So you've got the human workspace secured in the browser and the agent workspace secured by ADR. But here's the secret. Securing the browser where the human works and the agent where the AI works, they're fundamentally the exact same challenge. They both intersect right at this unified interaction layer, and both of them absolutely require deep, native runtime illumination. All right, Section 5, Real-Time Prompt Interception, Action, and Workflow. Let's see how this actually plays out. We're dealing with this crazy, invisible paradox in security today. Your security has to be incredibly deep, but at the exact same time, it has to be entirely frictionless and completely invisible to the user. So a remote user can access internal systems, pull up sensitive SharePoint docs, use GenAI, all while native identity verification and prompt telemetry are running silently beneath the surface. So what happens when they make a mistake? Let's say a well-meaning user accidentally drops a database password or an API key into a GenAI tool. Instantly, Step 2 kicks in. The AIDR intercept layer catches it. Step 3, it pushes through a millisecond logic gate that detects the anomaly, triggers an alert, and issues a block command. And finally, Step 4, the action is totally blocked and the text is redacted before that sensitive info ever leaves your environment. It's like the absolute second they hit submit, boom, the intercept layer is on it. The logic gate flags the source code, alerts the system, and shuts it down. This is exactly how you prevent proprietary code and personal data, PII, from leaking out to untrusted external AI models. And finally, Section 6, Visibility with Governance, or how we control the unknown. Organizations absolutely need a unified dashboard to monitor token usage and constantly flag malicious prompts. But, and this is a really big but, through role-based access control, the actual prompt decryption, meaning reading exactly what the user types, is locked down. It is restricted exclusively to authorized compliance officers. It's really the perfect balance between respecting employee privacy and maintaining rock-solid corporate security. Wow, okay, we have covered an incredible amount of ground in this explainer today, haven't we? From the dawn of the fourth security epoch, all the way to the nuts and bolts of real-time millisecond prompt interception. Which leaves us with one incredibly vital question for you to chew on as you look at your own security posture. Is your organization just observing AI with legacy tools, crossing your fingers and hoping for the best? Or are you ready to step up and actively control the agentic runtime? Thanks so much for tuning in, and I highly encourage you to take a deep look into your own AI architecture today.